Gomez is a dog. I keep telling you guys. You know, if I was in a war, I would want him in my foxhole, man.
Don't say this, don't say that.
It's hateful.
Don't say this, don't say that.
It's hateful.
Country.
Wait, that's the C word.
I don't.
Thanks to those joining me live and to those that'll be joining me on art. Yesterday we had some great matches, you know, and you know, everyone's back in Caesar's Palace, Stormy. It's a packed house. You know what I mean? A lot of people scalping the tickets, making profit and stuff. And Salvador Sanchez is in his right now. He's waiting in the locker room, waiting to see who he's going to face in the final. We had a lot of great matches yesterday, and controversy in the Azuma Nelson Arguello fight. Looks like Nelson wanted that rematch with Salvador. Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao, the pride of the Philippines. By the way, Bobby Chacon took that first match. He was an active featherweight, not very long, just from 2003 to 2004. He is a southpaw fighter, stands at 5'5.5", 767-inch reach. He has a win over Marco Antonio Barrera, where he battered him up and beat him up. The fight was stopped in the 11th round. A brother of Marco Antonio jumped in there, as you guys remember.
Very big matchup here, and featuring possibly the only fighter of present day that you could put back in the yesteryear category and would still have the similar type of success. It's only because of we've been able to see his body of work that I've made that assessment and who he has beaten in his career. So with this fight against Pedroza, I would have to go with Manny. Manny has that southpaw angle and unbelievably quick hand speed, and being able to dart in and out and punch from various odd angles, as he has been able to do, as he's shown us throughout his career. I think that Eusebio would be in trouble. He could catch him from angles, and there was always something about Pacquiao early in fights when he hit guys. It was a shock. It was like, damn, I didn't know that little guy could hit like that. You know,
Pacquiao versus Pedroza. I like Pacquiao in this fight. The rapid hand speed combinations, the dart in and out will confuse Pedroza. Pedroza was a good fighter, but he was a dirty fighter. He used to use his elbows a lot. You know, he beat a friend of mine from my hometown, Rocky Lockridge. Lockridge could have very easily got the decision, but they gave it to Pedroza. You know, he lost to McGuigan. You know, Pacquiao, too much of an offensive firepower machine. You know, he beats Pedroza. Probably, I'm going to say decision. Well, Carl Frampton is a decent fighter. You know, he did beat Leo Santa Cruz, but I like Junior Jones in this fight. Junior Jones, you know, had length. You know, he didn't have the best chin, but he had very good boxing skills and boxing. He had good power. Very solid fighter.
Stormy, how do you see this one?
Interesting fight. I think that Junior Jones at featherweight was not as dangerous as he was when he was a little lighter, but that being said, if Carl Frampton can take the power punch that he has, I could see Frampton outworking him, because Junior would have these lulls in the action sometimes and would give play away. So in a bit of an upset here, I think what will be an upset, I see that Carl Frampton still in this fight away from Junior
I'm going
Jones.
to keep Curtis's vote and Stormy's vote. I'm going to leave it up to the chat here. All right. Who you have winning at featherweight? Do you have Junior Jones or do you have Carl Frampton? Right? Give me a 1 for Carl Frampton. Give me a 2 for Junior Jones, who is advancing to the second round. Who wins this one? Battle Rifle puts his vote for Junior Jones. So we got to vote for Frampton. Another one for Jones. It's back and forth. Caesar's Palace is going crazy right now as they're going at it in the 12th round. Whoever wins the 12th round is going to win and advance. It is close. 3-2. Another one. Look at this. And a 2 is back and forth. They're going back and forth, Stormy. Who's going to win?
That's what I'm talking about, man. That's the kind of fight I think it's going to be. It's like, hey, I said majority decision for Carl Frampton, but it could be Junior. But hey, I picked Frampton in an upset. So,
man, so far I have it 4-4. Give me a vote. It's back and forth. We cannot end this in a draw. We're not going to give Morales a bye week. You know what I mean? So I'm going to count it.
I can sneak one of my famous inconsidered votes in there.
Man, with 4-4, we need some more votes here because we have a tie so far. If we end in a tie, I'll have to be the tiebreaker. Look at this. Carl Frampton comes back. Junior Jones. We're going to count to 10. 1, 2, 3.
You have to say going once, going twice.
6, 7, 8. And here comes Junior Jones. And a 10, and it's a tie on the scorecards. I'm going to have to be the tiebreaker, guys. Another one for Junior Jones. Well, I had Junior Jones as well. Junior Jones in a razor close decision over Carl Frampton. He almost got the upset. We're going to go ahead. And
Caesar's Palace is going crazy.
Caesar's Palace going crazy. The people that came from England to see Carl Frampton are upset at the decision. Right. Marco Antonio Barrera against Bazooka Wilfredo Gomez.
Gomez will oppose as well, Barrera, like he do so many other fighters. That's one of his stronger assets. And he was one of the hardest punchers in the lighter weight divisions in history, man. 32 straight knockouts, a record tied along with Deontay Wilder. 17 knockouts in title defenses. That's a record. This guy can punch. He was mean. He was nasty. You know, when you have fighters like Marvin Hagler and Tommy Hearns and, you know, Chavez and Gomez, you know, those guys had a nasty attitude. And Gomez would hit you when you was down. He elbowed you. He will do whatever it takes to win. You know, his famous fight with Lupe Pintor, you know, he knocked out Carlos Zarate. You know, I'll tell you, man, Gomez was a dog, man. Gomez will, by the third or fourth round, will be walking Barrera down. Barrera will try to counter punch, but Gomez had power in any punch with either hand. Anytime, you know, he wanted to hurt you, he was a good body puncher. He started to wear Barrera down. He catches Barrera with a straight right hand and the uppercut, you know, and puts Barrera on his back 2 times before they stop the fight. And the 8th round, I like Wilfredo Gomez by knockout over Marco Antonio Barrera.
Vegas, man, this right here, this could be like the main event of the tournament, man. This is a great fight. Bobby Chacon, Schoolboy, and Manny Pacman getting it on, man. as the first match of this second round. I see this fight with Schoolboy taking Manny to school.
Well, I'm going to have to respectfully disagree with StormyB, man. Bobby Chacon was an action fighter. He was too reckless and didn't have the IQ or the counter punching ability of Marquez. Pacquiao was a special fighter, one of the best, very best offensive fighters that boxing has ever seen. His speed, you need speed and distance to match Manny Pacquiao. Now, if you're not a master counter puncher, Marquez and Mayweather had success because they had high boxing IQs and they mastered distance, and both of them were master counter punchers. Chacon will sell out and he will go all out, and that his style will play into Manny's hands.
Give me your vote. 1 Chacon, 2 Manny Pac-Man Pacquiao. The Pac-Man versus the Schoolboy. Manny Pacquiao starting to run away with it here. Bobby Chacon landed something early. And Schoolboy's coming back, Stormy. Look at this. He's coming back with some. But we'll see. Well, pick one, Bruce. You know what I mean? Stormy. So I'm trying to get that extra vote in there. This one, it's close, but Manny has a good, solid lead at the moment. Well, not that solid, but, Bruce goes. Who you got, bro? You got to give me a vote, bro. I don't know whether to pick your heart or your head. Bruce goes. Decides Manny.
Man, Bruce goes sold out, man.
We're going to go with a 1, 2, 3. Another one for Manny. Well, then that same guy. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Manny Pacquiao edges it out, and he gets this win over Bobby Chacon.
StormyB man cards are still around.
StormyB man says something's going on.
That's right, man. There's some fishy stuff going on here, man.
How you doing, D-Style, Kurt, Stormy? How you doing? And I just got through watching this fight literally 5 minutes ago, and honestly, I'd see the same thing happening. If anything, I think he could probably get a decision, but I still would be in place for Eric Morales. It was just, his offensive skills are just too great for Junior Jones. With those combinations and that Mexican left hook that instead of just throwing a standard 1-2, they like to slide over and throw them left uppercuts.
Puerto Rico versus Mexico. How do you see this one?
I think I'm gonna give this to Wilfredo Gomez. He could literally do it all. He could box and he could brawl, and he had such a precise right hand to where he could just turn up the heat anytime he wanted. So honestly, I think coupled with his grit, his determination, and how he had so many layers to his game, I think I would give this to Gomez as well.
And Al's against Puerto Rico today. All right. But let me know how you guys score this one. All right. And we're going to go ahead and move on.
Man, this is a good fight, man. I mean, they fought 3 times. When he beat Morales, a lot of wear and tear. That's not an excuse. Morales outboxed him the first time. You know what? I'm going to go with Morales by decision, man. I think he, at that weight, because those 4 pounds makes a big difference. And seeing boxing is when you catch a fighter.
Reset the fighters back to square one. I think I'll give it to Morales. Like from Curtis said, I'll give him a decision win.
And all the judges had Morales winning, by the way. So, and the chat has Morales winning this one as well. When you put it in perspective, hey, that's how it goes. That's how it goes.
Gomez was calling Camacho, you're not authentic. You're from New York. You're not from Puerto Rico. And he was rooting for Rosario. But anyway, let's go on to Gomez. As you can tell, I'm very high on Gomez because my father introduced me to him. I mean, even though I knew him, but he introduced me to a lot of Latin fighters because as a black boxing fan, you knew who was the Alis and all those guys because they was on primetime television. But he told me about the guys that wasn't getting a lot of publicity. Maybe they couldn't speak English, like the Ruben Olivareses and all those guys, man. And but even when he was losing against Sanchez, the fight was billed as Battle of the Little Giants. With a broken cheekbone, his face looked like the Elephant Man. He was still coming forward. That's the dog that Rafael Gomez had in him.
Eric El Terrible Morales find a way to box Gomez in this one. Kurt, how do you see this one?
Lupe Pintor, that was on the undercard of Tommy Hearns and Rafael Benitez at 82 in New Orleans. But Gomez, I've been picking him not only by victory, but by knockout. And I think he gets Morales late in the fights. I think he wear down Morales. It's not going to take a lot because Gomez can punch with either hand, left, right hook, uppercut, straight right, straight left. I'm telling you, man, this dude was a dog. And I think he takes out Morales in the 11th round, beginning 11th round. The referee saved him. He's on the canvas trying to get up, and Gomez is talking because he did a lot of trash talking. He would hit you when you was down. He would talk to you as he hitting you, like he did Lupe Pintor. He wanted to inflict punishment, and Morales is a great fighter, but so was Gomez, and I like Gomez in the 11th round knockout over El Terrible, Eric Morales.
Eric El Terrible Morales is going to have an extraordinary performance in this fight, right? He's going to be outboxing Gomez early in his fight, but then the machismo is going to kick in. I think Gomez knocks him out. It hurts to say that because I'm a big Eric Morales fan, but the fact that, like, the demeanor of Gomez is not like Morales is not going to stay focused for 12 rounds and just focus on having a boxing fight. He's going to, like, his success is going to work against him. When he lands a 1-2 on Gomez and, starts landing some shots at angles on him, I think Gomez, I think he's going to relish on that a little too much. Gomez is going to catch him several times. And one thing about Morales, he did get hit, and I think Gomez stops him late, 10th round, something like that. But Morales will say that he was good and he doesn't understand why they stopped the fight, though, right? That's what he's going to say. And Puerto Rico again gets a win over Mexico.
I'm in agreement with both of you brothers so far. I see Morales getting out to a great start in this fight. I can even see him puffing up Gomez's eye, one of his eyes or something, maybe to the point where it's almost swollen shut. And then Gomez is going to have to go for broke for the win. And that's where Morales is going to have a problem, because just like in his fight with Marco Antonio Barrera, he was boxing the dickens out of Barrera, and Barrera was put in a position to really have to fight back and forced to fight back. But the one thing that Barrera didn't have was this punching power.
Honestly, this is a really tough one because I can see Wilfredo getting in and getting those combinations, but I also know Eric Morales is not stupid enough to sit on the ropes and take punishment. He was never that guy. I mean, when he fought people like, Zahir Rahim and people like, Junior Jones, I just watched that fight like 10 minutes ago, 20. Like, he always fire off a good 4 or 5 punch combination. So honestly, I think I'm gonna give this to Morales, probably by, knockout. I just don't see Wilfredo Gomez being the type of guy to get a decision. You either have to knock him out, or he knocks you out, or he wins.
Chad, give me a 1 for Eric El Terrible Morales. Give me a 2 for Gomez here. It should be interesting. We're live in Vegas. It looks like Gomez is going to win this one, man. He's on a roll, stopping Mexicans tonight, but he's about to run into the biggest Mexican of them all. All right, so rematch tonight. Curtis, how do you see the final here. I mean, we've already seen it. Is there anything Gomez could do? He's going to go up against Salvador Sanchez once again. How do you see it?
Ain't nothing Wilfredo Gomez can do. I've been picking him by knockout all night, but Salvador Sanchez is not normal fighter. He's very abnormal. He's a brilliant fighter, born to fight. When he came out his mother's womb, one of the very best Mexican fighters in a country rich with boxing culture and talent. This Gomez is great. Sanchez is special, and that's the difference. Sanchez in that weight division, long arms helps him. Being a master counterpuncher helps him. Ring IQ, he was always in shape. He was just a great, great, great fighter, and could have been, it still is, at the young age, one of the very best fighters that we ever seen because what he accomplished. Look at the people he beat, man. Laporte and Nelson, and go on and on. Little Red Lopez, Gomez. And he beats Gomez again. This time he gets him in 7 rounds.
Salvador Sanchez had everything going for him except for extended life, man. This gentleman here was etched in the annals of boxing history as one of the greatest fighters that we had seen at the weight where he fought. And how can you go against somebody who's got that hair, man? You see his hair on that photo? That's excellent, man. Excellent. But in all sincerity, that was Wilfredo Gomez's Achilles, a guy who boxing ability, counterpunching ability, the length, reach, all of it, and who could fight and who was as spirited as well. I take Salvador Sanchez again in this fight easily. He was the best fighter in the tournament. I can say that now because he's finishing it up, but I thought that going in. I had so much respect for him. I wish that he had extended life because we only got to see a smidget of what was to be. If anybody hasn't had a chance to go out and look at this man's fights on tape, replay, video, whatever you can to gain access to what he was doing during his career, he's definitely the prototype fighter that you would like to look at, and he was as smooth as silk.
The Sanchez stopping him quicker, like Stormy and Kurt Sugar said.
Well said, man. And it is a wrap, guys. Okay, live from Vegas, Salvador Sanchez, the winner of the fantasy featherweight tournament. All right, he just went through guys like butter in this one. Okay, I mean, boy, did he dominate this tournament and beat a guy that dominated his bracket in dominating fashion.
Sanchez, will be remembered as one of the greatest featherweights for a reason, and he's in his bracket for that reason.
Sanchez is a special fighter, man. The featherweight was loaded. The tournament, man, it just goes to show you how special Sanchez. As soon as I seen his name, I said, "Oh, there's the winner." I said, "Ain't nobody beating Sanchez, man. He's just too special of a fighter." I'm sorry. And you have some dogs in the division, man, but he's just. I mean, I love watching this guy. And before I pass the mic to Stormy, to go to show you how popular boxing in Sanchez was, when he died of 82 in August, I think August 12th, I was listening to WBLS as a black-owned radio station. We had so much respect for Sanchez in the black community, they stopped the record in the middle and says, "I have sad news to report." It was Frankie Crocker. Frankie Crocker was a very popular DJ in New York. And you can look him up, Frankie Crocker. And he says, "Very sad news from the boxing world. Salvador Sanchez has been killed in an automobile accident." It broke my heart, man. It broke my father's heart. It broke my uncle's heart because they were boxing historians, man. And we used to talk boxing all day, and we was like, wow, man. And all the older guys on the block was very sad. When Thurman Munson died for the Yankees and when Salvador Sanchez died growing up, it ripped the community apart because we really was wrapped up into that guy, man. You know, and he's a special fighter. I have all his fights, T-shirts and whatever, man. I collect boxing T-shirts, fellas. But you know, man, a very special fighter, man. Rest in peace to Salvador Sanchez.
This was another great tournament. There were great names in there, great fights. You know, last night's round of action saw a lot of fannies hitting the canvas, man. It was exciting. This night put together the equivalent of what was available in boxing for its time. So it's the irony of the two men facing off for the championship being something that actually happened in history it's a testament to the men who fought during that era. And Salvador Sanchez, I can't say it enough. I think Kurt put it in excellent words, and I won't tread over that. I'm just glad to see that he's still getting the credit that he always deserved.
So they're celebrating Vegas. A lot of Mexican tonight.
Tournaments was great, man. It takes work to do that, man. And I want to thank you for being a true boxing fan, and you know the chat for spending their time with us, and Battle Rifle and StormyB, man, for their opinions and expertise. And we just love boxing, man. We just love boxing. The world is a terrible place. I love boxing to get away from it. Escapism, I call it. And this is my passion. This is my really, this is my wife. And we in a lifelong marriage, me and boxing, man, and I have so much pleasures and joys being in the sport. And, you know, I'm blessed and thankful for being taught well. And, you know, it's just great, man, to be on this YouTube platform. So I want to say thank you, D-Style, for inviting me, man. Thank you very much.
Absolutely, man. Thanks for coming on. Stormy, give us some final thoughts.
Oh, man, once again, a wonderful tournament. Glad that I was asked to be a part of this. It's a lot of fun. It's a lot of work on your behalf. And I'm just glad to see that people come out and support you for this. You got, like Kurt said, a wonderful channel, man. And it's just great to know you and the brothers that's out here in the community, and Kurt and Battle Rifle, everybody that participated. This is what it's all about. You know, the boxing might be on a hiatus right now, but it ain't over. But what we have had up to this point, this shows the appreciation for the sport.